Welcome to another tr6 part video. Welcome to hopefully the final part of tr6 engine removal. So far what we've done is we've removed basically everything on either side to make life as easy as we can to get to the studs at the back. Now I have removed all the bolts at the back except for 4. The top 3 and the one at the bottom. So why do I leave one at the bottom? Well, the reason why I do that is because the, let me show you. The top 3 studs are pretty much like these here. Dear, dropped something. That was my ratchet. So these studs here. So they're the ones that have the tread, the collar, and the tread again, and they go into the top of the block of the engine. So what it is that if I was to just take the bottom one off, what would happen is when the engine wants to come apart, it will go from the bottom and split out. So basically it goes this way. What that does in turn is that the engine will crop up, the gearbox will stay where it is, and then treads will basically run across the top because the gearbox slides over and basically absolutely destroy the treads on it. So to avoid that, I take the nuts off, so when I lift it, I can actually then undo the bottom, and it doesn't want to go that way. It will still want to come out, but it's less likely to start from the bottom because there's no pressure there. So obviously, well, little pressure will want to pop out. So that's the reason why I've done that. The other thing I've done, and let me show you, is on the bottom of the trolley jack. Hope you can see this. I have another little trolley jack here, and I have that just sitting on top of the gearbox. So the reason why it's in a straight line here, in between the large engine crane, is so when I go to remove the engine, when I go to do the engine mounts, it will need to come forward a tiny bit, so that allows that little bit of play on the gearbox. The gearbox should stay really where it is, but it just allows it to move a bit. Now what I may end up doing is having to let it down. Because the damper is on this, I can only drop it so much. But once it comes free, I can actually pull the engine out a tiny bit. I have a little bit of play to pull it out enough, and it will allow me to get to the bolts at the back. So let's start get cracking, and let's get some engine mounts off. Once I find where I put my stuff. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can start by taking, as long as the engine crane has the weight of the engine, it's fine. You can start off by undoing or loosening up the bolts on the where it connects to the engine. On the side, I don't know if you see the block itself where it goes onto the side of the block. You can start with that one. Just loosen them. I don't take them out, just because when I have the engine in the air, looking enough these are moving pretty okay. When I have the engine in the air, it's easy because I'll take them off as soon as it's a bit free to give me more room. Actually, that one wasn't even tight to begin with. That's not good. And what I'll do is I'm basically going to completely remove the studs here. Now, if you're not sure which side is which, just take a picture of it before you take it off. Because there's a lot of adjustment on this. When you put them back in, you don't tighten up anything, you actually just let it sit nice and easy before you actually ever fix them up. You'll find obviously on this side there's a lot less room because of the steering column. This is where a pneumatic one comes in handy. reverse now. Now, I took one out, and the bottom bolt, I didn't take the bolt out. I took the nut off, but not the bolt. I'll just keep it there, just so, in case of movement, I don't need to move it yet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure the strain is on the crane. So I'm just moving a bit, just to make sure the crane is holding the weight. Because once I know it's holding the weight, I can then pop the studs out, and I don't have to worry about the engine dropping. I'm going to remove these two because then I can get this out of the way. I know it's going to get in my way. There's a little bit more room to this. There's obviously more room on this side. Almost there. I need some new engine mounts. These are all perished. A good sign there's not much stress in it is when you can move it freely and the bolts want to come out. Then you know there's no strain on it, there's no weight on it. So, taking this now completely, and now I'm free to remove the engine mount. So just remember how the engine sits, where the mount sits when it goes in. So you may, if you want to use the dot to the front on this side, dot to the back on the other, but the mount doesn't make much of a difference. It's where it sits to this. So obviously you want the engine mount to sit behind this plate. It doesn't sit in that groove. Otherwise it's too far forward. Where is it? There it is. Sometimes when you put a short one on it, it fits in a lot easier. close to that. Still. I left this one to the end, guaranteed that'd be stiff. One off. And now we'll go on to the far side and we shall take this one off. Zoom into it. So I said this one had this one I just left the bolt in. So now the bolt doesn't want to come out because I know there's a bit of strain on it. So this way you may have to adjust it, just so you don't put too much strain in it. If I pull the engine up a bit more, it may want to come out. And if not, what we'll do is we'll drop it down a tiny bit. Alright. Trying to look and see which way the nut is facing. Straight in the top of the nut. Actually, it needs to go that way. So the engine needed to go that direction from the popper. So again, taken out, hasn't gone anywhere, hasn't budged an inch. It's good. Now I need to find my ratchet again, which I'll put somewhere. I don't know where it is. Put that back down, and I'll lose it again. And once I get these out, what I'll do is I'll move the engine to pull a little forward and drop it down. Because the engine mount is not on it, I can drop it down a good, well, I want to say an inch, maybe just over. Pretty much till the damper sits on the steering rack. Now if I wanted more, I'd just take the damper off the front. I'll just basically take this damper off down here and it will give me a bit more play because I'll be able to go down further again. But there should be enough. I'll just basically rest the damper slightly on it. Alright. Now is this the only problem you'll find is that trying to get this one out past the steering column. There we go. And now the engine is free. So now we're free. I'm going to lower it down until the damper sits on So I've lowered it just to the damper. Sorry. Just so the damper here is sitting on the steering rack. And that should have opened up enough room for me to get to 3 bolts at the back. So this is going to be the hard one. You won't be able to see much because it's pretty dark. Looks like I have to go in from this side, just for the extra room. Now this water pipe, I could take this off and make it neater, but it's just on here, it's just cable. Keep one way. Look here. I feel like it's ringed a bit. It looked like it's being ringed before I got in there, so change the angle we can have it. Yeah. Alright, what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the damper so we can get a little further down. So I'm just going to remove the damper from the front. Should be one of these. It's stuck in there for some reason. Wait. Now I want to pry it off. Chill it out, damaging the chain cover. Come on. You raise it further. I knew something was going to go wrong at some stage, so all this because of the nuts back there are threaded. I say threaded, they're ringed. I don't think I'm going to get enough of this. Alright, I might have to do it I'm pretty sure. Hammer. There you go. Found it. Now, just put it in there. Now I can drop it down again. Should have thought about that the first time. Before I drop it down, remove the trolley jack and pull the knee. I thought I was going to go plain sailing. Now, I drop it down. I'll show you, you can actually see this a lot better. Now I have a lot better access to screws. So if you can see them in here, there's a three of them there at the top. So now I have a much better access to get in at them. I said it looks like the front one, the top one is actually threaded. Ring. To figure out how I'm going to get that done since it's ringed. Possible because I put the wrong size nut on it. Maybe. I feel like it's a possibility, but shouldn't be. Let's see where I'm going. Hope you can see where I am here. Oh dear. Let me see if the ratchet fits. Don't think this one's going to fit in nice like this. I don't think it's going to fit right. These are usually pretty easy enough to do. obviously, if you were doing from the inside, if you had your interior out, these would be so much easier to reach. Oh, that's it. Now I get a couple more drops. New gloves, because these are all ripped. Retrieve my ratchet. Unfortunately, this video is going to drag out a little longer. Screw the gloves because I want to keep ripping them. Yes, we need patience with this one. So sorry if it. My suggestion is fast forward this part. Wish I could. Oh. Playing games with me here. Just not enough to go away. And this is the pain you may face when you do this. Well, the worst thing is though, every time I go up I'm blocking my own light up here and I can't see. Just set the term to be stiff all the way. Do you know why? Because it looks like a lock washer, that's why. No wonder I can't undo it. Normally the nut lock washers are just standard nuts with a lock. Well, this is a lock nut. Usually they're a standard nut with a lock washer on it. Don't get me wrong, these work just as fine, no issue. But not exactly easy to undo by hand. I can't believe how far I'm along and it's not loose enough to go by hand. Now you imagine if I had the bottom bolt undone, there'd be a lot more strain on this from the last one. So that's what we don't want. Oh, finally. I'm just going to let it drop. Number 1. Now, I don't know if you can see, but you can see the way the threads are left. Ooh, sweating. Pop into number 2. Which looks like it's threading as well. I say threading, it's ringing. So it's not what I want. Obviously somebody's torqued these too tight. Yeah, it's going to be a challenge. See if we get the ring in it. At least have a full grip around. Get the ring around it. That's not good. So I know it's going to ring on me. I just know it. Spray. Oy. Yeah, I can see that end is starting to ring. So if that's the case, I might try to change tactics. Let me try millimeters. Maybe we'll feel a little bit. You know what I'm going to do? I don't want to do it. I'm going to remove the battery tray. I think removing the battery tray is going to give me that tiny little bit of extra. A tiny bit of extra space to go straight down. I've never had to do it, but it needs to be, it needs to be. Bolt it down. Alright. Let's get back to seeing this. Oh, I'll take it out looking. Just got enough on it to break. Yes. There we go. hoping to get enough, bit more leverage in there. Well, shorter so I can open a bit more. So the hard part is going to be the last one. Also, I'm going to try from this side and hopefully get a different vantage point.